Dex Trader on your 5-Minute Learning 1-hour intraday pathway webinar. And tonight is a very special night. It's one of the very last nights we're going to be doing the webinars in this fashion, where we're going to basically, tonight we're going to combine a little bit of everything tonight. But we also have Mike F. on the line with us as well as one of our senior presenters. Welcome, Mike.
Hey, Max, how are you?
Not too bad, buddy. I hear that you're a little under the weather, so I ain't going to make you talk a lot tonight.
It's okay.
But I appreciate you, rolling your butt out of bed so you can come and work with us today. Mike had a day off because he wasn't feeling good, but that's okay. I totally agree. If you do not feel good, do not trade. Just like anything else. Don't trade in an altered state, whether it's sick, drunk, high, or whatever it might be. No judgment here, folks, but just don't trade, right? You're here for risk to ruin, to protect yourself. We want to help you protect your money. Why? Because the longer you can protect your money, the longer you could be here. And if you're making money, you're happy. If you're not making money, then happy, and you're not going to want to pay for anything, right? Simple. That's how it works. All right, everybody. Let's get right into this thing. Most of you, anybody that's new here, I'm kind of looking in the room right now. So you know what? We're going to kind of do this thing tonight, and it's going to be more about the recording than anything else. But I want you all, if you're all here and you're all customers already, you're all investors, you're all partners, you're people that are trusted within the network. And I want you to ask yourself a question. And this question is going to be hard to answer for some of you, okay? Because maybe you can answer in the room. How many of you in the room do the daily signals on dexsignals.com, on Dex Trader? Well, you can't be doing it on Dex Trader yet, but how many of you do the Dex signals themselves? Anybody? Show of hands. Ken's going to do it. Ken's going to say it. Ken's going to say, I do them. Not as much as you should. That's a very honest answer, Ken. Thank you very much. That's probably why you're a senior trader with us. But I know you're very busy as well. If you are not doing the daily signals, okay, and listen, some people are like, well, it's Dex Indicator, so I really, yeah. Here, let me show you something, folks. And maybe some of you don't see it. And it's okay. It's all right to say that I don't see it and learn it from this position, because how else are you going to advance? How else are you going to know? Watch this. You ready for this? Mike, do you know where I'm going with this?
I think so.
Okay. Oops, not there. No, not there either. How about right here? Okay. I'm going to go right here. Can you see this one right in the middle?
Mm-hmm.
Dex Daily Signals. Can you guys see this? This is a real thing. It's a real process. And using this indicator will give you the same result. You ready? Will give you the same result as these, to a degree. There's a little bit unusual stuff that happens in the Dex Signal indicator, because you can actually see a little bit different on how it operates and how, using that time frame, and you can have a small adjustment. You might even be able to squeeze it down a little bit more, get better of a price, get into more trades. Who uses that here? Now, I know we've given you a lot of information, a lot of things to think about, and a lot of things to do. Some of you are in training. Some of you are in trading. Some of you are just trying to figure shit out. And that's okay, because there is a lot of it. But the dailies, looks like a little shamrock there. Oh, sorry, I'm half Irish. What can I say? So here's the thing. The daily signals, the daily indicator. How does it work, and why does it work, and why am I so concerned about it? Just the dailies, come on. Let me ask anybody in the room right now, how many trades a day do you need? How many trades a day do you need to make your money? Pick a number. What is that number? Anybody. Just pick one person in the group. Tell me exactly. Ken says 5, right? All right, Dan, how many trades do you need a day to make happen? Dan, Skylar, anybody else? Amy, Tim, David, anybody? 7. So school, yeah. Dan says 7. Great, good job. David N, James, anybody else? Tim says 5. These are great numbers. These are real numbers. James says 8. James is like, I want to be robust. I want to own the world. David M says 1. Just give me 1. Give me one, damn it, I'll throw 455 contracts at it. It's okay. You could do that. Because you all kind of know, you guys are customers, you've been around the block with me, you know, you're investors, you're invested into this process, right? So even if we add all these up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 7 people in the room. David's really bought into the CVG. Yes, he has. And David, if you've bought into for this, you just need one good trade, because how much money do you need if that one good trade has, listen, you ready? Doesn't matter what the number is. We're just going to say it's an average of 6, right? Everybody agree with that number? We all good with that? 6 a day? 6 trades a day? Yeah. What if I were to tell you that 6 trades a week? Does it matter? David M says 1, but guess what? David M kind of hits it right on the head. What if you just did 1 a day 5 times a week and did 5? How much money can you make? Can anybody tell me with David M's process of doing 1 trade a day? Okay. Now, let's say you only fill 1 contract or 1 trade a day with the dailies, and you fill it for $22. Okay. And you do it 4 times a week, right? Very easy math. $88, right? We all in agreement here?
Mm-hmm.
Now, normally, you could trade about 20 times a month, right? But we're just going to do the real simple stuff. We're going to do the 4 times 88, right? That's $352 a month, because you're only trading 4 weeks of the month, right? So let's just say you're doing 16 times. That's 88. That's what, 352, right? Did I do that right?
No.
I think I did it right. No, I didn't do that right, did I? 4 times 8, 352. Yes, I did do that right. So, because we're not good.
Month, okay.
Yeah. So that's a month. Yeah. So this is a week. This is a day. This is a week. And then 352 is a month. Now, you can't live on $352 a month. Maybe you can. Who knows? Right? If you can, great. But what does this really work for you on? Right? So if this is 352, I'll find a way to make that bigger. Okay. You're doing 352 a month. As soon as you do 2 contracts, right? It becomes what, 700. Now what's the number? Right? You do 2 contracts, because this is 1 contract. This is 1 trade. Okay? This is under the power of doing 1 trade. You do 2 contracts. 2 contracts. 700. 4 contracts. 1,400. You see where this is going? Now, another percentage, running percentage that happens here is at the dailies, and you don't have to take my word for it. There's other people here that have traded these and know the dailies, okay, they produce a tremendous amount of trades in a day, usually between, what is it, like 14 to 50, I think. Here, I'm going to go over and have a look. Here are the dailies. Is this the dailies? Dailies. Here we go. Let's just go back to the, this is all the 20th there.
Nothing on the screen, Max.
What's that?
There's nothing on the screen.
Yay.
Finally.
Somebody saved me. I needed a co-host just to help save me. All right. So here's let me do 100. Okay. So here's the 20th, right? This is 100. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. So let's just do it for the 19th, because it's a full day on the 19th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 28, 29, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 50. So about 51, 52, just say 50, right? Just say 50 in the process. Now, you're not going to do all 50 of them, right? But out of the 50 that you do, Okay, out of the 50, the signals that come up, you're only picking one session. So you're really going to be doing about 10 or 12, right? 10 to 12 actual signals in that process during your one session that you're doing. Because remember, you're not going after every single session, right? You're only maybe doing one session. The average person maybe do 1 to 2, okay? And you're going to fill about 20% of them. So here you're doing at least 2 trades you're going to win each day you do it. Does that fulfill your mark? Yes, it does. So if you didn't see anything else, and if I told, let's just say that this is 100% true in your world, in my world, in everybody's world that's in here, and you're living like you trust me 100% that this is actually real and this happens, right? Doesn't matter if it is or not at the moment. If I told you you only had to work one session, and during that session, every 2 hours or so, okay, because did you have a look at the time frames? That you probably didn't. In there, around 2 o'clock, there's 2 in the morning. There's 8 o'clock. There's 2 o'clock again. There's 12. So usually between 2 to 3 hours. You're coming to your computer. You're waiting for the signals to jump off, and you're going for it, right? So even in one full session of an 8-hour session, you got about maybe 3 times you can sneak some trades into. So maybe 3 times you're in there trading. And out of that time, you're probably putting maybe 10 to 12 working orders on. And out of those, you're filling between 1 and 2. Some days you may not fill 1 or 2. You may only fill 1. Some days you might fill 3 or 4. So if it's all true to you, if it's all real, and this is what it is, what did I just give you? I gave something that produces this. Right? And what does it take? What does it take to do it daily? Well, the dailies are set to a working order process, right? So signal comes out, you go to the computer, you look at the daily. Do you need a chart to trade dailies, Mike?
No. You're not.
Do you need to go look at news to trade dailies?
Always look for news.
You could. But could you also not look at news to trade dailies? Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
The dailies run during news. Look at it. 98%, 97%, 93%, 98%. Do you think you gotta look at news? The answer is no, you don't. I tell you to avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
Watch out for it. But if it came down to it, this shit changed right through it with these kind of success rates. Now, sometimes you get ones that lose. Come on. And if you set a working order on a loser, guess what happens? It's going to go right through it and pick it up, and it's going to act like it's just picking it up like anything else, and it's going to end up losing. And so, yes, it doesn't. Some of them say 100. There's some that say 100, but don't be fooled. Shit could still lose, right? There's a whole session of craziness that happened at 7 o'clock in the morning yesterday, right? Let's look at that for a second. What happened yesterday? See if I can pick this for that. Okay. 7 o'clock in the morning. This is what happened. Because it was a 7 o'clock in the morning signal, it got pushed at right around 4, maybe 5 o'clock, probably pretty hard in an area. Right? 4:15. You see? So 3 bull news can affect it, but how? How can news affect it and where it doesn't affect it all the time? But if you get a really powerful news source that hits just at the perfect time, here's what'll happen. Because we use a box like this, right? And this line and this line represent what? Time, right? And this line and this line represent what? Price. And time moves the price up and down. Time moves it in a direction from left to right. while price moves it in direction up and down. And what we do, we take a priority amount of time. I won't tell you what these two times are, okay? And then there's a time for expiry, right? And we say, okay, if it breaks this line right here, okay, the price breaks that line during this particular time, we're going to call this a buy. But we're going to use this price line. Got what I'm saying? If it does the opposite, if it breaks this line during this time, it's going to be a sell. And we're going to use this line right here as the price, where it won't go above. So what happens then? If you come in and if it does this and breaks that line, you come in and set a working order right here. Why? Because sometimes the market comes back down before the expiry. And if you got it set right, the market makers will pick up this price and it usually goes back up, right? But what happens when it's tanked? You know, it'll come down to here, it'll get picked up on your work order, and then what will happen? It'll keep going, right? But leaving it to expiry, because success rate is this kind of number, it's worth it. It's worth that gamble. So even if you are trading the news, are you going to get things and shit that happens like this? And the answer is yes. So you can avoid news if you want to, but how many times has this happened in a month period? You know, how many times is it lost in that fashion? Well, the DPC is going to tell you the last month it's had a 90. Well, we got to go to the right one. Whatever, depending on which one you did. Let's see. Let's just use the Briscoe Pound USD, the one we were on. There you go. No. Back to the main page. Briscoe Pound. Watch this. It's so beautiful. Even over the month, it's had a 92% success rate. So not too bad, right? So even if that were to happen, you're not going to go for 5 or 6 working orders on it at one time. Maybe 1 or maybe 2 at a time. I tell most people that. If you're going to be putting multiples on, then definitely stay away from the news. But even if you stay to, because there is a lot of news stuff that happens out there, but that was a very special particular news that happened right at 4 o'clock in the morning as the lines were being drawn for the time period. Does that make sense to everybody? That makes sense to you, Mike?
Yes.
Okay. So right at 4 o'clock when the news hit, this system was already doing something that it was wasn't supposed to be doing. So it would, whatever time the 4 o'clock hit in this box, let's just say it was right there. Okay. The news came out and it made it do something, but then it's like, you know what? It's really supposed to be going this way, you know, and it's going to do the opposite of whatever the signal came out. So it says it's called it for a buy, but really it was supposed to be for a sell. If no news came out, it would have probably been for a sell, right? So the solution is to try to stay away from news at that point. If you're confused on whether or not you should work with news or not work with news, it's all about your own priorities. You know, if you're willing to sacrifice every once in a while this shit happening, then you just got to grin and bear it, right? Because look at these numbers. 98.8%, 100%. Anything comes out, Audi JPY at 100%, you know, this is over the last 100 trades. I'm sorry, I'm taking it. I'm probably going to stick most of my money on the 98 and 100s, and, you know, that's what I'm going to do. Oh, thank you very much, Screen Boy. So, but I'm going to be taking this. I'm going to be taking these shots. This is important for me. Would I go with the 93%? Maybe not. Maybe I'll start looking back. I'll hold off. Well, maybe I want to be above 95%. Now, how do you judge that? How do you start to track? Can anybody tell me how do you track? Because if you're doing dailies, how do you track how well you're doing with them? Can anybody tell me in the room? How do you track how well you're doing with your daily signals? Journal. Ken, you're a superstar. You just put the number 2 next to your senior name now. Forget how great you are. So listen. Okay, promotion. He answered a question and he got a promotion. No, it's been a long time coming, buddy, because of the work you do. Ken's not somebody that just sits around and accepts everybody else doing their work for him. He works very hard at what he does. I mean, look at this. He's put this kind of work into it. This isn't a joke. For Ken, you know what kind of time it takes to do this stuff as well? It's important. It's important. It's really important. Okay? This is huge. So Ken, you're working, you run a full-time job and you do this and you're on these webinars and you're in the chat room. So 2 is a promotion, not for answering yes, but because you answered a prayer. And I appreciate you being here, just like Michael did, and Paul, and Dan, and other people. You know how hard Dan works on getting the name out there, all the advertisements, everything else that he puts out. Works very hard at what he does. So congratulations, senior level 2.
Sir,
You're on that pathway now to become one of the partners of this network, profit share partner of the company, because you work that hard. So where are we at? We are at a very pivotal moment in our relationship of learning how to trade. And if most of you, even some of you that are maybe new, maybe one person that snuck in is new, if you are not using the daily signals or daily indicator or using DexTrader's dailies, then you are leaving a tremendous amount of money on the table. And I want to show you one last thing and tell you about a little story about those 4 people that I talked to today. And I talked to many more people, but I began to start to really hone in on the idea. The first 2 brought it up to my attention, and then I purposely asked the final 2, are you trading dailies and how well are you doing? Each one told me, dailies kick ass. The one person told me he did in 2 weeks, he did 12 dailies. Now, he was doing intradays, he was doing other things, so I'm pretty sure he could have boosted this number up if he wanted to, if he wasn't doing the intradays and 5-minute trades and all that other kind of stuff, right? So this is in 2 weeks. Speculate his numbers then, right? If he did 12, and he was 12-0, by the way, 12-0, 100% success at that point, doing the dailies in 2 weeks. That's 6 a week, right? Say $20 a piece, $120 a month, or $120 a week, right? Times 2. It's $240 he made, right? If we speculate a working order, right? Because we tell you $20 working orders, $22 working orders, whatever. Yeah. Fees, we'll say $20. So in 2 weeks, he made $240. How much is the subscription to the system? Yeah, you got it. Your ROI just became, 50%. Do you understand? So how many weeks is it $400? 5 more weeks. And what happens then, and here's the other thing, watch, ready? So I had a conversation with the person who told me this, and I said to him, listen, if you did 12-0 and you're doing live money, okay, and you did $240 in that 2 weeks, right? And he already had a balance of $800 in there, because all he was doing was 1 contract apiece. So now he has $1,040, right? When he gets to 1,600, what's he going to do? He's going to add another contract, right? I'm going to put another contract on. So now he does the same thing. He does 12-0 the next week. Let's just pretend he does just some sort of perfectional thing, and it's just there. Even if he does 11-1, it doesn't matter. If he does 12-0, again, if he duplicates exactly what he did the prior 2 weeks, and he's at 1,600, and he's doing 2 contracts apiece, he's at $480. That's 2 weeks later. So now 1 month in, he's at $720, 1 month in. And now we start getting serious, because that $720, that's $720 yet, plus his $800 from the original. He's at $1,520 or what have you, $1,600 from that point. So let's see, what is that? I did that right? No, let me see. I'm sorry, it's been a long day. He did $480, right? Plus his original $240. If he's at $1,600, he's got like $2,300. So he's only maybe $100 off of doing 3 contracts at a time now. So if he gets to that rate and he's doing 3 contracts, doing the same thing, you see where this is going? Doing 4 contracts, 5 contracts. I can't compound CVG into your head that any more than that. And you're getting it. But if you're leaving this on the table, you're leaving your success. You can hone your skills all you want with 5 minutes and 1 hour. But what does it really come down to, Mike? Dailies. Put your time on the bread wagon. It's boring as all get out. Trust me, it is boring. But when you look at the end of the week and go slow and steady, won me this race, how much time are you really putting into it? What kind of materials do you need to put into dailies? Your computer? Christ, you only need your phone now. Right? You got a Twitter account? You get sent a message on your phone, pop up Natex's app, pop the working order on. You got them worked out perfectly. Because remember, you learn how to make it before you learn how to make it easy. Okay? So learning how to do that is what's going to get you to that situation. All right. So the next part here is that normally we kind of go into the history of the company and all that stuff, but I think we got Mike, we got Bill Brown, we got just another couple people in here that I haven't seen before. I don't know, maybe I have seen before. But let me tell you, tonight is sort of an off, not really an off night, but it's one of those nights where Mike's not feeling well. I'm sort of overworked. You guys work me to death, I swear to God. But I love it. But there's a lot of stuff that this company is really priding itself on to building, which we have been building and working very hard on. And the biggest thing has been DexTrader to make it very simple. In this first phase that we have, first phase beta release, this system is really about, oh, I blackened it out. But this system is really, it's a hidden beta release. But this system here is exploded in the different solutions for the DexTrader system, but we'll be mushing it all together over the next 2 weeks. January 5th, we're actually going to have our own, boy, let me tell you, folks, if some of you were on the webinar last night, you probably heard me ranting and raving about all these companies, you know, messing with us and doing all that kind of stuff. We made Dex in a period, listen, in a period of a 1 year period, so just from March, okay, when Brian and I and Amy sat down and said, enough messing around, we have to make customer service our priority. We have to revamp all the signals. We got to revamp the training. We got to revamp the site. We got to make it perfect. We got to make it exactly how we want to be treated. And we got to make it all about that. So in 9 months, we built up over 1,400 members, 1,400 members through free systems and paid systems. Okay. 1,400. We built up 3 companies that are trading companies. Okay, 3 trading companies: Dex Signals, Dex Indicators, and DexTrader. 3 of them. We've built them all 3. We've also built 2 other support companies: Dex Data, okay, and Dex Charts. That's right. We built our own data company secretly. Why? Because we had all these companies coming after us. We were trying to use, and they kept on coming back and giving us, telling us that we had to pay money. They do us, I mean, lots of money. The chart system was just the latest one that really got us kicked in between the legs, because they wanted to have all of our customers sign up for $29.99 a month and give them a $10,000 good faith bond. Here's what I think of your good faith bond. We built Dex Charts, so now we'll need you now. Thank you very much. I appreciate the push. There's one thing that Amy said last night. She said, I'm thankful that they did that. I'm sorry you had to go through that pain, Max, but I'm glad they did, because now we don't have to worry about them. Because what happens if they did that when it was really important, right? Like everybody was using them and we had built all of our indicators into it. What then? We'd been screwed. So yeah, hand to God, I'm glad they did it. Because now we're going to take this whole industry by storm now. That's just not some talk either. We built a pretty tough circle, didn't we, Michael?
Yes, we did. You did.
Well, so did you. You're building it as well. Do you think I
That's
could have
right.
done what I do now if I didn't have the information and the data and the customer response and the build in from Michael or Ken or Tim or Dan or David or Chi, who's just made Elite? I couldn't have. I want to talk about intelligent individuals. Chi's on the line with us right now, or on in the webinar. Mike and I got a chance to talk about to him the other day. Holy crap! Awesome
buddy.
person.
You went live.
Smart as a whip. Went live. 10 and 0.
Oh, look at that.
Nice work, buddy. Oh, nice work.
I know
Proud
the
of
wife's happy.
you. Yeah. Proud of you. Look at that. She went live 10 and 0. These are real people, by the way, folks. These are real people. She's not a paid actor. He doesn't play a trader on TV. He's a real person who came here learning how to do these trades, learning how to do this processing. Congratulations, Chi. I'm very proud of you.
As am I.
You know,
Had a lot
those
of
of us that are absolutely, and again, Chi even thanked Mike for the video he did and his, turned him around on a lot of stuff. And listen, it doesn't take much. The balance of being a proficient trader sometimes, because listen, here it's all about being balanced, right? And when you're a trader and you're really trying to figure stuff out, and you got all these questions and all these things you're putting on, look what happens, man. All this stuff gets overweighted on one side. But then you got to strip back all this bullshit, all this stuff that's out there that just doesn't make sense for you to trade. And you got to become balanced with it. You got to learn how to trade balance. You have to learn how to see the situation in front of you. The more things you add to this, the more rules you have, the more rules, the more filters, the less trades, the less money. Right? Your success. It all comes back down to how balanced can you be? How disciplined can you be? And that's what it really is. It really does come down to the trader's mind, the training with the 5-minute series. You get to learn a lot about what not to do in those 5-minute impacts, don't you? You learn a lot. I had this one gentleman, this was about 2 days ago. He goes, Max, I learned one thing with your system. I hate 5-minute million trades. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I hate them too. Because guess what? Some people can make them happen, and they learn a lot, and they're very good at it, and they love the pressure. They love the adrenaline. They do. But I've had my time in the adrenaline pocket. I don't need any more. When I was building the system, I was telling my brother, who loves to do them as well, but Brian's not very good at them either. Some people love to do them, but some people suck at them.
Oh, your brother out.
I did, man, because I love him and he knows it. But he is one hell of a. He trades really good in the other stuff, but he's one hell of an SEO guy. I can tell you that right now.
Actually,
we were training
built
things
a
out.
proprietary system, and nobody will be able to touch us. I said that last night. That's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
That how bad the industry is and what you had to do to make it a success. It's incredible.
I literally had to cut off every single chain except for the broker. And when we found the broker, the perfect broker, it wasn't some overseas binary person. It was a network here that was completely regulated by the United States of America. And it had to be. It had to be regulated. Now, if Nadex ever goes away, that's okay. Because guess what, folks? Guess what we've developed this entire time?
Forex system. Yes.
And it's sitting right under your nose. Can anybody tell me what the Forex signal packet is? Flag and pennant. Yeah. Ain't that right,
He's in
Ken?
that class, Ken.
Yeah, him and a couple of other people. Because hourlies can be we have to tweak the margins just a little bit in the hourlies. Okay? Because they're still off just enough to be you will get a pack of runaway, but it's too close. You would have to turn that hourly into a takeoff, of the signal. Now, also with Forex, there's a completely learned system there in Forex too, folks, because with Nadex, they already have the time cut and expiry. They put you in a box and say, okay, you can't go past this. Okay? And that's good and bad. And in Forex, you can lose more money than you put in. Why? Because if you don't put a stop loss in Forex, like if you say, I think it's going to be a buy from this point on, it's from called current price trading, right? And you got to say it's going to be above wherever you get into the trade, it's going to be above that line. And the more money it goes up, the more money you make, right? But if it falls down, you can actually start losing money from that point. And if you only have $1,000 in here and it gets down below that $1,000 in debt, it doesn't just turn off and go, okay, well, I guess he doesn't have any more money. No, the brokerage leverages you. That's right. It turns into an automatic contract that you owe the money. You know what that means? Lawyers are getting involved. Do you understand me? So you want to talk about not protecting yourself. You want to talk about discipline. You better have 7,000 trades in this system before you do anything else. I can tell you that right now. Maybe 1,000, maybe 2,000. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little much. But I consider myself a master trader, and I can still go there and lose money with Forex if I'm not careful. So you have to become very proficient in understanding of a very simplistic system. Okay, and our flag and pennant system that we have is very powerful as the price comes in and pierces one of the lines of flag or pennant. Okay, this is the direction we call it for. Now, at any time, if it falls below and closes one of those bars out below that line or wherever line that we're calling at, okay, you got to immediately close out the trade. But with this success rate is about 80 to 90% success, right? How do I know that? That's why I know that. This is Ken Wright's trades. Okay, $385 with how many trades in there? 10 trades. Okay, look at this number. Very easy to figure out. 10 trades. Average contract price, you getting it? $35. Probably a little bit more because this is including losses. So, you know, if you didn't include losses, how much would it be? 46, 53, 46, 44, 49. Are you seeing the numbers here? This is incredible. I know he hasn't had a lot of time to trade it, but let me tell you right now, folks, that's current price trading happening right there. And if that's the case, if you're able to do that for Forex, how many pips could you get at that particular time period? You know, we'd have to check that out to find out. But let me tell you something. If we make the systems like you see how we make them, what do you think they could be? Let's just use the intraday pips. 4, 5, 10, 13, 18, 17, 12, 17. This may not seem like a lot, right? You may think that this isn't a lot of pips, but there's a lot of trades too. And if you could do just 20 pips a day in any Forex system, whether depending on what lots you have and how many lots you have, all that kind of good stuff, there's a lot of learning in there. There's a lot of money to be made. So you have to understand, even if Nadex collapses, Forex is never going anywhere. It's $1 trillion a day market. Nadex isn't going to collapse. They're a strong-ass company. They ain't afraid of us. They got millions and millions and millions of dollars in liquidity for this system. Now, if I put 10,000 people in this program, that's a whole nother story. But we're not going to do that. We're not crazy. Can we cap out? Yeah. 500, 600 traders at once? Yeah, absolutely. But let me tell you right now, all of you are doing something different. You're never all going to go to the one thing all the time. You all have pretty low balances to start with, unless anybody here has $20,000 to put in at once and is going to be trading 200 contracts at a time. So we're all small potatoes to Nadex. You don't care about us. And that's okay. I don't mind. I really don't. I don't take offense. This little tiny small company outranks them for their own keywords. It's okay. We work very hard to earn that. We also have a higher customer service rating than they do. That's okay. I can understand that as well. I don't think you'll ever call Nadex and talk to the owner. Good luck. I tried for 6 months. So the position here for you, and I really drilled this in, is your persistence. But your persistence can only be met with the dedication that you put into learn and be a part of it and train. If somebody just came up to you and just gave you the solutions and said, here you go, I want to give you, here's the answer. Go to this page at exactly 3 o'clock and do a buy on the Euro USD. This is a signal. Go at 3 p.m., do a buy on the Euro USD at 3 p.m. every day. You know, this is what do we call this? The clock on the wall theory, right? And I tell you, just go there. Just go do it. But why should I? Just go and do it. Just go there and put a working order on for whatever the price is at that point. So basically what we're doing, I'm giving you a daily, right? And I'm telling you, go there at these particular times of the day and put a working order on for whatever the machine tells you to put a working order on. And for every 10 that you put on, you're going to fill 2. Okay, this isn't a lot, right? You're probably looking at, that's a lot of trades. Okay, great. But out of that, you're going to win $22. And the other thing is that you're only going to lose maybe 1 out of 100. 2 out of 100, maybe. Do you understand? And if anybody were to come to you and say, hey, listen, you need to stand on the corner over there and hold this shovel, and once every two times every 10 hours, somebody's going to come up and hand you $20. But if you're holding 2 shovels, they're going to give you $44 and so forth. You would just figure a way to hold as many shovels as you possibly could. It's a bad analogy, but you probably get the point, right? So how many times can you come to the plate? How many times can you get here? This is what you got to ask yourself. How many times now can your account handle the risk? Right? Not how many. You don't want to put on every single working order. You don't want to put on every single process. You don't want to trade every single time of the day. But you do want to become more proficient in trading your dailies. Start there. You want a place to start? You want a place to build up? Because listen, if you build up a relevance of money using the dailies, what's the number? You just got to backtrack it, right? If you want $4,000 a month, $1,000 a week, it's $250. It's $1,000 a week. How can you get there doing the 1 or 2 trades a day? You just got to apply the math to it. It's a lot simpler than you may think. 10, 20, 30 working orders. What does it take to get to that 2 or 3, 4 sales or 4 trades a day that are very good, that 90-something plus %? What is it? But you can do it. You just have to choose to do so. All right. At this time, for everybody watching after the fact, I really do want to thank you for taking the time to be here today. Now, listen, if you're new in the room, if you're new watching this, we do have this, DexSafe 50, okay? This is going to work on any one of the sites that we have, DexTrader, Dex Indicators, Dex Signals, okay? It'll save you $50 for your first month. If you're unsure whether or not you should get in, join for free. Check out all the training that's in there. You won't be able to see signals or indicators or other things, but you'll be able to see some of the training that we have in orientation and get a feel for who we are. Hit us in the Contact Us section. Call us on the phone. Get us anywhere you can possibly get us. Start taking charge of your future, because if you're not, then you're not really serious about becoming a trader. I can understand that. You've been hurt. It's all good. I want to thank Michael, too, for being here tonight. We're going to have Michael start coming on next week, after he stops feeling sick for himself. Start coming on and doing some of these webinars a night with us, but also start taking on a couple of himself. And also be doing some of he's graduated enough to get to do some of the calls too, after we get him some training and get him in that process. So I want to thank Michael for having a dedication, buddy. So thank you.
No, thank you, Max.
You're welcome. Everybody else, hang out in the chat room. We got questions and answers. For everybody else, thank you again. Hope to see you inside, and trade well. I'm Max, and this is Dex.